What is up, everybody? It is your boy Al. I am the owner of the Underdog Dynasty Channel, the founder of UDK Sports Talk. And in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I wanted to talk about the 2026 Super Bowl, man. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. And as you can tell, I know a lot of you are going to say, man, that guy has a Rams hoodie on. He's going to come from a biased fan's perspective. And as all of you can tell, I'm a diehard fanatic. And I wanted to, in this video, give you all my predictions, the game plans that I would be trying to execute on both sides of the ball if I'm New England and vice versa Seattle. And I just wanted to bring some really good football talk for each and every single one of you. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and sub to the channel. Check off the bell notification icon to become part of the family. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So we have the rematch. As all of you know, especially if you're Seahawks fans, we all understood how that game went. They should have just gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Instead, it's history. Malcolm Butler makes the interception, and here we are. So what could have been for the Legion of Boom, where they could have won back-to-back championships and pushed for a third? Who knows how everything would have turned out with that team, right? And vice versa. Now we're here with a similar type of team, right? We have Seattle with a great defense and all those great players that they have. And then you have an offense that's also humming with a #1 receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba and a great running back in Kenneth Walker. And they have a ton of talent all over that team. In my opinion, if you ask me, I said it multiple times in my previous videos that the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks were the two most talented teams and the best teams in the NFL. And Seattle proved themselves to be the best team in the NFL when they beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. So when you're coming from that perspective and you understand what the Seattle Seahawks have and the weapons that they have, when you factor in JSN, Rashid Shaheed, Cooper Kupp, you have Kenneth Walker, AJ Barner, your offensive line is healthy, you have Sam Darnold playing at a really, really high level right now. You like your chances going up against New England. And vice versa, if you're New England, you like your chances as well because you have a cornerback in Christian Gonzalez who can lock up just about any receiver, and you have a guy like Milton Williams who can generate pressure from the interior and force the cornerback to get flushed outside the pocket. So there's a lot of good things that the New England Patriots can bring to the table and make this a game. You know, a lot of people are going to say that the Seattle Seahawks should run away with this game. And I've heard this story multiple times before. We know how this bad boy has went. When the Seattle Seahawks played the New England Patriots the first go around, we all know how this went. Even though the Seattle Seahawks had their key guys dealing with injuries, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, and Earl Thomas, I believe. You also lost your guy Jeremy Lane in that game. So when you look at the cornerback room in that game, they were hurt. They were dealing with some injuries. But the consensus was that the Patriots at that time, led by Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, and those guys, that they weren't going to be able to drive on them consistently. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the offensive coordinator, who was the OC then, is the offensive coordinator now. So they're not going to be overwhelmed with the defensive pressure that Seattle's going to bring. They're just not. Josh McDaniels has prepped for this game plan plenty of times before. He has dealt with hard-hitting secondaries, hard-hitting fast defenses. He has prepped for it all. You're not going to be bringing anything that he hasn't seen to the table, and that is why I believe this game is going to be much closer than people realize. Now let's talk about where, most importantly, the game is going to be won and lost. It's going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage. Now, when we look at the New England Patriots pathway to the playoffs, we have to understand that they have been facing great defenses the whole time. When we talk about the Chargers, the Texans, and the Denver Broncos, albeit if it wasn't snowing and they had Bo Nix, they probably win. But that's not the case. And when you look at who they've had to face, they've been facing these fast, twitchy, athletic defenses the whole time. The Seattle Seahawks are just going to provide that last test, kind of like the final boss. But in my opinion, I believe that the Houston Texans defense is better than the Seattle Seahawks defense. And I love what the Seattle Seahawks bring to the table. When you factor in Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, you have Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, Ernest Jones. They have a lot of talent back there. But the Patriots are not going to be scared of what they bring to the table or that defense because they've been facing fast, twitchy, athletic defenses the whole time, and they have came out on top on those games and these defensive struggles. And the one thing that people aren't talking about is that New England Patriots defense has been absolutely balling right now. So that's why I believe this game is going to be much closer than everybody anticipates. And we've seen this before, man. I'm telling you guys this from a Rams fan because I've seen the spreads. I see a lot of people saying, yo, the point spreads, and I'll take 13 plus for the Seattle Seahawks to cover and beat New England by 2 touchdowns or more. And I will go on to say this. There was a Super Bowl, right, in which there was a heavy favorite. There was a team that should have lost by double digits. They had a second-year quarterback, okay? And the other team was just clear-cut dominant. Does anybody want to take a guess of who that team was? Or what Super Bowl that was, that had a second-year quarterback, that had I believe there was a player that's now coaching the New England Patriots who played on that team. Does anybody recall who that was? Obviously, I could speak about this because I'm a Rams fan. The St. Louis Rams versus the New England Patriots. A lot of people thought that the St. Louis Rams were going to go all the way and beat the New England Patriots that game. And what did the Patriots do? They ran the ball. They controlled the time of possession. They played good defense. And at that time, they were holding. They were doing a whole lot of nonsense. So things that would be penalties, they were doing it all game. But hey, at that time, that's what they allowed. They matched our receivers by going in the Don formation and putting, I believe it was like 4 or 5 DBs out on the field playing quarter. And they said, hey, nah, you're going to take away the deep end cuts. We're going to force you out to run the ball, drive up the field, but we're going to hold you to field goals. And because Vrabel is familiar with what it takes to win in these type of games, the type of defense that needs to be played, the type of complementary football that needs to be played, is why I believe the New England Patriots have a legit chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And when you look at Drake Maye, second-year quarterback, guess who was a second-year quarterback when he won the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots? Tom Brady. Guess who's the OC now that was a part of a lot of the Super Bowl runs? Josh McDaniels. So all I'm saying is there's too many coincidences, and history always has a way of repeating itself. So it would not shock me if the New England Patriots won. What are their keys to victory? Well, here we are. You got a clock control against Seattle. And I think when you have a guy like Drake Maye, I believe this is going to be a part of the game plan, you got to use his legs. That Seattle pass rush can get home with 4, and all they like to do is send 4 and mix in some stunts here and then to generate some rushing lanes and some easy ops to the quarterback. And when you're dealing with a guy like Drake Maye, who can run the ball, naturally it slows down the pass rush because you can't over pursue, because if you do, you leave rushing lanes. And if you leave rushing lanes, you don't want to give up 5 to 10 yards of carry for Drake Maye. Eventually, you're going to have to bring in a spy, and if you decide to do that, you're leaving one less guy in coverage. And believe it or not, the New England Patriots have some weapons. They have a good tight end room. They have a good receiving room. I know a lot of people can say Stephon Diggs is past his prime, but Stephon Diggs can still get open. He has still shown to be an effective receiver. You got that guy Butte, who I like, who can get open down the field and can run double moves. You have Matt Collins there. You have Hunter Henry. I believe you still have Austin Hooper there. Mix that in with Trevion Henderson, and you have Ramondre Stevenson. You have players there. So I don't know why people keep disrespecting New England like they don't have a shot. I contradict that. I think the opposite. I believe that they're going to give some issues to the Seahawks defense that are going to force them to play complimentary ball. Now, this is the thing, man. Let's say hypothetically, right, Ramondre Stevenson gets anywhere between 10 to 15 carries, and Trevion Henderson gets 15 to 20 carries, because I believe that's your big home run hitting threat. If you're able to get the time of possession in that 35-minute to 40-minute range, you're going to force Seattle to have to throw on offense to get back into the game. That's hypothetically if you're able to close out drives. So you want to control the time of possession, keep your defense well rested so that when they go on the field against Seattle, they are fully rested and ready to go. And vice versa, you want to stay on the field much longer if you're on offense, if you're New England, because you want to tire out that Seattle defense. And I believe it is possible. Listen, man, I know a lot of you are going to be like this. Well, the Patriots receivers are not going to get completely wide open on the Seattle Seahawks secondary, and I don't believe that to be the case. We've seen this before, man. We just saw Butte beat Derek Stingley in the divisional round. We have seen Patrick Surtain get had by a receiver in Buffalo. You get what I'm saying? I forget his name. I forget who caught the pass on him. He even got burnt, I think, once by Brandon Cooks too. So that's the thing, man. In these moments, it comes down to execution and can you play late? Who made the big play in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs versus the 49ers late? Who beat Richard Sherman? That was Sammy Watkins, not Tyreek Hill. So again, you don't always need to be the best receiver. You just need guys that have the knack to get open. And if you lose that rep, you lose that rep. And guess who could throw the rock down the field? Drake Maye. He's very accurate with the ball, and he could also run. So that's the game plan if you are New England. Live through the quick passing game. Establish the run game. Control the time of possession. Here and there, take your double move shots to either Butte or Stephon Diggs. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. The one that starts with a B, Butte or Butte. Y'all let me know in the comments, but that's where I'm going. That's the game plan. And then you also have other guys that could beat other guys at any given moment. However, given the fact that we have the experience on Josh McDaniels' side, he is going to layer up plays to take shots occasionally to keep you honest. Because the minute you start playing down to take away that quick pass and play physical up front, he'll hit you with a double move, get you over the top. You see, that's the chess match that's going to be played here. Now, vice versa, if you're New England's defense going up against Seattle's offense, what you're going to have to do is you're going to absolutely have Christian Gonzalez travel. You're going to need him to travel, and you're going to need Milton Williams to generate pressure from the interior. That's the game right there. If your edge defenders can't collapse the pocket but play in their lane, force Sam Darnold to step up into the pocket, but you get pressure from the interior, that's your game right there. Now, because the New England Patriots have shown this, against Houston, they blitzed the heck out of them, showing exotic looks off that bear double mug look. I'm going to tell you this. If the Patriots are going to win this game, they're going to have to force turnovers, and they're going to have to show that exotic look to Seattle. I understand what Sam Darnold is. I understand that he is playing at an elevated level, and he's playing the best football he has had in his career. But there's two things that could be true. You could be playing at your best, but you still struggle against one specific thing. And that one specific thing is when you start zone blitzing and you start messing him up at the line of scrimmage. The Rams are able to do this game plan to him twice. Not in the last game, for whatever reason they got away from it. But they showed that exotic blitz look. And every time he had to start worrying about communication to the offensive line, and they put some confusion on the offensive line based on who's rushing and who's not, when they went to that quick pass, they hopped it. You see, and that's a chess match that New England's going to have to play with them. They're going to need to get them into 3rd and longs. And when that happens, you're going to have to blitz them. And you're going to have to show a look like that, showing 6 at the line of scrimmage. And let's say you run stunts, but you drop 3 into coverage and only rush 3, or vice versa. You send 5 or you send all 6. They could be coming from anywhere. That's what you need to do if you're in New England. And they showed it already. They did it against Houston. And that's what I'm looking for in that Super Bowl. That's the defensive game plan that the Rams failed to execute. And if they're able to do this, they're able to stop the run, force Sam Darnold into those 3rd and longs, and show blitzes like that and confuse him, have him hold on to the ball long enough, you're going to force him to make a mistake. And when that happens, you need to capitalize. And the reason why they can do this is because they have a guy at Christian Gonzalez who can travel, who can lock down one side of the field. In my opinion, he's a top 5 corner in the game. I believe he's number 3 for me, and I got him as top 3. So that's how strongly I feel about Christian Gonzalez and his talent. Obviously, if we go back to college, I'm an Oregon Duck fan, so I already know how good Christian Gonzalez is. So that's the game plan right there. Now, if you're Seattle on defense, what is your game plan? And in my opinion, nothing deviates, man. You have a 4-man rush. You have guys that can get after it. You have a great defensive line. I believe that you're going to have to play in your gaps, meaning your edge guys are going to have to do the dirty work and force Drake Maye to step up to the pocket. But your defensive tackles are going to have to generate enough pressure off that bull rush to corral him in the pocket so he's not able to run around. If you're able to do this, and obviously we understand how good the Seattle Seahawks defensive secondary is, with those corners that you have, you're able to press them at the line of scrimmage. If you can marry the coverage and the pass rush, that's your game plan to win. You force them to stay in 3rd and longs, and that's how you rush. You're in a great situation right there. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say don't mix in the blitz. We've seen teams mix in the blitz, and Drake Maye gets flustered and makes mistakes. So he has shown the ability to fumble the ball, to force some passes into windows that aren't there. So if you rush like that, you're going to force mistakes, and you're going to have guys in coverage who can defend, who can throw off the timing of the play. Now, vice versa, the running game. The running game is where the game is going to be won. If the New England Patriots can run the rock and control the time of possession, like I said earlier, they're going to be in a dogfight. But if they're able to stop the run and force Drake Maye to throw on 3rd and longs, that is their path to victory. And it's probably going to be an easy path to victory because Seattle likes to throw out that knockout punch early. That's how they blow out everybody. They get on you early with a lot of pressure. And if you don't respond, or if you make a mistake, that's the game right there. So if you're Seattle, you want to stop that run game early, force Drake Maye to pass. And when he drops back and pass, you have to get him on the ground. You do that a couple of times, give your offense some more possessions, they're going to be in a great spot. Now, vice versa, the offense. How are we going to attack New England, okay? Well, first off, you're going to need to run the ball. And I know this sounds ridiculous and I'm saying this again, but this is the truth. Nobody, and I believe all the Seahawks fans can say this, no one is going into the game saying we want Sam Darnold to throw the rock 40+ times and drop back past us into a victory. You want to know what everybody wants? They want Sam Darnold to stay in that 25 to 35 throw attempt range. They want to be able to run the ball anywhere between 30 to 35 times, have a balanced plan of attack, let Kenneth Walker do what he got to do, establish the line of scrimmage, and allow the running game to now open up those windows in the play action game. And then you can mix in those bootlegs, those play fakes, and then you can take your shots with JSN on the double moves, and then you have Rashid Shaheed, and then you have Cooper Kupp, who understands zone coverage extremely well, where the soft spots are, where to sit down. Obviously, I can say that because I'm a Rams fan. I know how great of a receiver Cooper Kupp was, and he was always my dog. So when you have players like that, that is how you're going to have to attack the New England Patriots secondary. Now, again, if they want to play man coverage and they want to take away Jackson Smith and Jigba, and listen, early on, We're going with the run game with Kenneth Walker. I like what Kubiak did against the Rams, the way he was utilizing the pistol set, motioning the fullback to get a nice little power block, and then mixing in the quick pass when they're playing off coverage to JSN, making somebody miss, and then layering that play call, motioning JSN into the backfield, having him run a route as he's a receiver, but he's in the backfield, and then mixing that in with the halfback screen game, basically forcing him to have to defend every yard on the field, sideline to sideline, and then vertical. So you got to keep up that game plan in this Super Bowl right here. You have to. But that game plan can only happen if they have a ton of success running the ball early. That's what led to them being able to do what they were able to do against the Rams, and why Sam Darnold looked so comfortable. They were able to get a nice push in the beginning of the game. Now, they didn't run the ball effectively throughout the course of the game, but they had ran the ball effectively enough early where the Rams couldn't just go balls to the wall in their pass rush and completely get separated from the run game. No, they had to always respect it because Kenneth Walker's a home run hitter. So if you're able to do that, you're still going to have the lanes in a play action game. And when I mean by lanes, I'm talking about when you have a guy, a linebacker in coverage, you run that play fake, they go up to attack the run, and now you have these winners that you could throw to in the middle of the field. And if you get a guy off the spot with the play action bootleg, now you got a guy on the sideline. So that's the type of diversity Seattle brings to the table, and it's why a lot of people have them as the heavy favorite going up against New England. It's the simple fact that not only are they great defensively, but they have an extremely explosive offense. And that's the game plan when you're on offense for Seattle, and vice versa when you're on defense going up against New England. Let's talk about my predictions. Now, who do I believe will win the Super Bowl? I think two things can be true, right? We understand that Seattle is absolutely dominant, but we also understand that New England is just a gritty team that has just found a way to win games. That's the way Bill Belichick teams will always work, notoriously work. They were never the most talented team, but they always found a way to win the big game because they didn't hurt themselves. So obviously, that's going to be prevalent in this one. Who's going to be able to force the other team into mistakes? That's going to be the game right there. Who's going to turn the ball over? Drake Maye is prone to turning the ball over. He's shown it all playoffs long. And vice versa, who's prone to throwing a lot of interceptions when he gets flustered and off his spot? Sam Darnold. So who do I trust more? To be honest with you, I don't trust neither of them. But given the recent success of Seattle, I think it's more realistic that Drake Maye forces some plays that aren't there compared to Sam Darnold, who he has a lot of familiarity with this offense. He's great in this system. If he needs to take a sack, he'll take a sack. Whereas with Drake Maye, he might try to force one. And that's where I think the game is going to lay. Because of that, it pains me to say this as a Rams fan, because I shouldn't be saying the Seahawks are going to win. But in my opinion, after I saw the reports of Cooper Kupp and how they did him, I personally love Cooper Kupp. That was my dog when he was a Ram. One of my favorite Rams receivers, next to Torrey Holt of all time. I think he was just a phenomenal player. The mindset that he has, he's been in this moment, he's performed in this moment. It's like having a coach on the field. When you have a player like that, man, I just think he's gonna have his guys from a leadership aspect just be calm, mellow. I believe the Seattle Seahawks are going to be able to execute their game plan a little bit more effectively than New England is going to be able to. Even though I think Seattle's going to win, and that's who I have winning this game, it would not shock me if New England wins. And the reason for that is because they have notoriously found ways to win games. Mike Vrabel has played in a ridiculous amount of Super Bowls and has won games the same way. He's always beat these high-powered offenses in these big games. He just finds a way, and it's through complementary football, running the game, controlling the time of possession, playing to your defense, keeping them off the field, keeping them rested, and then when they go back on, being able to have the energy to get the stop. It's like one of those annoying teams to play. That's what New England is going to do, and that's the style they're going to bring. And they also have the receivers that could get open on a one-on-one attempt. So again, I have Seattle winning this in a close game. I believe they're going to get their lick back. I believe they're going to get their revenge, per se, in this game. But it would not shock me if New England wins in a close fashion and they force Sam Darnold into a pick late. It would not surprise me. But again, I'm leaning on the experience of Cooper Kupp and Ernest Jones, who have been there, who have played in the big game, who are going to be able to slow the moment down for these guys. Everybody in New England, I believe, has not been there before outside of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. And though I believe they're going to formulate a great game plan to win them the game, I just think that Seattle's going to be able to execute theirs more than New England will. And that will be why the Seattle Seahawks, even though it pains me to say this, will be the winner of the 2026 Super Bowl in Levi Stadium. Don't forget to like, comment, and sub to the channel, you guys. Check off the bell notification icon to become a part of the family. And with that being said, even though I'm a diehard Rams fan, and I genuinely felt that the Super Bowl happened in the NFC Championship game, because I believe the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams were the two best teams in the game. Even though I say all of that, and it pains me to say that, as a football fanatic, as a guy who has studied this game and has watched a ton of football, and I'm just a football junkie, man, this is what I do. From an X's and O's standpoint, looking at how other teams attack other teams with schemes, defenses that stop this certain type of offense and vice versa, I just got to lean on my experience and what I know. And just what the Seattle Seahawks are able to do defensively and offensively to provide that type of 1-2 punch, you just have to be extremely talented to be able to stop it. And I believe that the only team that could beat them was the Rams. And that is why I believe the Seahawks are going to win it all. But that's all I got for you guys. Have a good one. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.